Alright, you guys, I wanted to just go ahead and make a video about this. I usually don't even make videos about every damn thing that happens, but I keep seeing this on the TV news like a lot. And not that I even garner shitloads of views anyway. I don't jump on every bandwagon and to try to garner views and talk about shit, but there's some shit that you be seeing on the news and it starts to get kind of creepy. And just like, I know a lot of you guys, whether you're both black or white watching, if you've seen Henry Rollins' videos, he does some comedy. I start having Henry Rollins' voice playing in my head when I'm seeing this shit, and when stuff happens with police, and he liked to use that expression, I think about cops doing that shit to people like it's the invasion of Poland, and shit like, other words, when Nazis took over, they were taking people out of cars and doing shit. And this particular thing too, I keep seeing on the news and they're showing footage of this shit. And it's getting, and you don't want to make videos like act like you're trying to garner views, but some of us got to go and be saying shit and say how creepy it is. I can't help it. I says, I gotta make a video because that's damn creepy as shit. And it's definitely no joke, scaring the shit out of people. You got like people with kids and everything. And if you ask me, I mean, this is only like a theory, because come on, why would they have a whole bunch of cops all with guns drawn that way with just a kid walking out with a doll? When I was a young kid, I never heard of shit like this. I was a kid once and didn't know better, and I almost walked out of the store with a Spider-Man doll when I was right with my parents, but my grandmother turned around and bought it for me. Because when you're a kid and you're younger, you're a kid. You don't know it's a store. You have to get money. The kids don't know that unless you get them a toy cash register and all that, and they're playing. They don't know that concept yet. But nobody goes with a bunch of fucking guns drawn and all that shit over that. Usually they'll get security or have the cops a little bit or something if somebody's trying to run out and steal bigger things. But that is not, in my opinion, done over a toy or a doll or a petty thing, unless, you're being, like, say, stalked somehow. You got neighbors, friends, ex-co-workers that don't like you, for example, right? Busybodies. And I could make videos separately. How about every people, both black and white, have their busybodies. And I joke with some of my friends too about how some people of my race, how the busybodies act. Anyway, say there people are calling the cops and saying shit. You don't even know it yet. The cops are already like watching them. So this is only a theory. Like, say, come on, they don't go with guns drawn just with like something that's accusing somebody of shoplifting, or kid walking out with a doll. Usually the cops are already watching for some reason because somebody is saying shit like you're being profiled. And that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody's saying, oh, because usually they'll go and do that and they're ready to pounce, right? And they need, oh yeah, that just happened to be a perfect opportunity. Somebody calls the cops because the kid's going to walk out. And the cops are already watching, and they go and stop, get the car, and they want to search the car, and they think they're going to find a whole bunch of drugs and shit like that, But yeah, and I had one experience, maybe it's going on 2 months ago, where, hey, I got haters, and I got people with busybodies, different kind of busybodies talk about me, and I got family members that I don't talk to that are jealous because I had cousins and different people that have been in trouble, arrested for drugs constantly. And you have this one other family member, right, that are jealous and hate you, and they want to knock you down a notch and calling the cops for shit. And meanwhile, I'm like a person that I've been on jury duty, and people don't like it. I've been on jury duty. I still work for charities. When my line of work slows down, I make time. Because my work is by assignment at an agency. I go out of my way to work for the Salvation Army and get myself out there in front of stores and And this is a good thing that you should pay attention to, whether you're black or white watching, okay? If you're being, say, profiled and all that stuff too. Go out there and talk to people, get yourself known. And in my case, even though it says in the Bible, or I read things other than the Bible, like the books of Enoch, seventh from Adam, son of Jared, says anybody who gives in arrogance is wrong. But yet, since I was always being, I worked at good paying jobs, like worked for the Salvation Army, and I always was eating in restaurants, not buying drugs. Not these people's active imagination because they're jealous, maybe because the son of the family, their kid is always in trouble, and somebody resents maybe your mother and they want to find something on you. But anyway, yeah, I got profiled once. Everybody damn knows. And I had good experiences with police since I worked for the Salvation Army too. I talked to police. I had police do some good stuff too. And like in a town like mine, it was well known, so I was blown away. And in my case, you almost want to say, what the, you don't know for sure if the cop is being biased. But what happened to me once was, it literally reeked of somebody, some hater, using the cops to try to get me in some trouble. Everybody knows, hey, I'm some person, I worked for the Salvation Army in my spare time, making a toy display for the kids, But just because I have some ponytail, all of a sudden, you got people who are jealous of you. They're looking for wrong, and they'll call the cops, and they figure. I actually got pat down by the cops and says, I'm just walking right by. A cop just didn't shriek the tires, but that instead of just cordially coming down like the cops would do that slow thing, just come and approach. Cop just makes a stop, not screeching the tires, but stopping. I'm like, thinking I'm looking like this dumbfounded, looking on fear. I'm like, can I help you? What's the problem? And he had me spread eagle, looking at all my belongings, and said, you better don't make no false moves or I'll knock your ass out. They checks everything, my ID and all that stuff too. But usually when they do that, okay, somebody's going to be pissed off and not get no satisfaction because they want to check on you, got a clean record. Because I worked for, I've been on jury duty, worked for the Salvation Army, and I don't think I'm better than a lot of people, but some damn how, total clean record, no prior record. And in my book even, that a lot of times if you made a couple mistakes and you had some priors on your record, yes, you can get hounded. And then gang stalk, there's some videos about gang stalking, which they're really overboard, but there is different aspects of stalking. But in my case, it was like, you don't know for sure if a cop's being biased, but I'm like having this WTF moment. And in my case, I don't know if it's anybody else's case, that you can have, like, even though I'm not a politician, I call it a political enemy and somebody trying to turn me into a political prisoner. And to be fair, most of the cops in my time, they don't give a damn who I am. And if it wasn't somebody trying to deliberately, they hate you. They don't like the way you're looking. No, that you're making them look like liars. You're doing good stuff in a community, working for charity once in a while. You're making your haters look like liars. So what they'll do is use the cops, or hopefully, the cops are just required to check you, but maybe they're hoping, people do that all the time in politics. They're hoping, at certain levels, trying to get somebody busted for something. Oh, look, he's a drug dealer or a drug user. Yeah, cops even, when they patted me down, checked all my belongings and all that, whatever I had, my ID, made me look up in my nose, I guess, made me turn my head up, see if I'm doing cocaine. Like, yeah, you want to go and use the cops, weaponize the cops as to try to harass people, And you never know. In one case, like I said, most of the police, they don't care. They're required to check certain things. But I want to say one thing, if you get this far in this video too, why I take this shit seriously, what was done to this person. I want to say too that there was a thing not too far back. It was called squatting. That people we don't even have to live near, and this is creepy, They don't even have to live near you. They can do it through social media, find your address, and make a lie and get a SWAT team at your house and get cops and have you shot, you know? Because, you know, you go and it's against the law. From what I understand, they actually had a guy arrested for that. And if they're doing that, it's against the law, you know what I mean? And then somebody stops you on the street. Yeah, well, anyway, yeah. One of the things, too, I forgot to tell you, too, why I got stopped on the street, too. They said, in my deal, they said that, this is that laughable as hell. When I was first stopped, they go and say, somebody called and say you were walking around drunk. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, you don't argue. Of course, when you're getting searched and pat down, you're not going to argue them. You've got to comply with it right away because you can get in more trouble. You can get in more trouble for saying you're resisting or getting in some supposed tussle with the police. You get more trouble with it. You can get in more trouble for that or being accused of that than you could for certain levels of a crime. From my understand, some of them could even felony consequences. And you're hated to call the cops for something they're trying to egg that on. And people, the trip of it was with me is people know I was known in that town. I don't go to any of them bars. You don't even see me in any of the liquor stores. I mean, I was known for a lot of other things. So with my thing, it's reeks of something deliberate. So the reason why I brought myself into this too is like this group of people, or say if you're a person being stopped on the street for something, who's to say they won't make some other kind of lie and, you know, and I'd give you the creeps, you know what I mean? But the best way to get even is like just keep doing what you're doing. And in my case, you know, I was trying to say in my video, you know, it says, I was trying to say in this video here and there, anybody that gives an arrogance, like the Book of Enoch says, God detests anybody gives an arrogance. In my case, I was always people on my neck trying to cause some kind of trouble indirectly like that every once in a while. So what I did is my Salvation Army thing is I went in front of the cameras, waved the cameras, and when I collected unemployment for a season, I was putting money in, not to brag about myself. But one thing that you should pay attention if you're a black or white doing this, working for a charity, if you're being profiled, if you ponytail or dreads, if you have dreads or ponytail, go work for a charity. Work for people that are mixed people, same race as you and other race, and people with a different race than you together. And even though, you know, in a religion that you shouldn't give any open, cameras are watching, looking for you, people are trying to tell lies. I always criticize people when where if you're collecting some unemployment, where I know you got to pay bills if you could, you're getting money paid, you're sitting on your ass. And our governor on this state is trying to discourage you collecting unemployment for a period of time. But deliberately put in the open because, like I said, I had relatives. I said I could be stalked and profiled and being watched unawares by police or anybody or informants because relatives that had prior records. So, and my problem with you can be black or white watching this and you have a clean record and you do good shit in the open. And people don't want to hear it. They're mad that you disprove them and they go into this arrogant ass denial or this fuck you attitude that they have. Oh, how dare you him disprove us? But we're your buddies. We'll stand by you. You know, we'll just keep saying you're either a crackhead or some kind of criminal or a drug dealer. We'll just keep believing it like it's a religion, you know. And they probably got a fucking shrine in their house. They probably got a picture of. They might be putting aside their picture of Jesus or something, whether they're religious at all. And they might have a shrine with your fucking picture that they snuck and snapped on you and doing a chant, repetitively chant. Their private little cult that their private little cult religiously chanting that you're this or that or drug dealer or this or whatever they want to say. Literally, probably in their getting together in their houses is chanting it like a religion, you know, shit. You know, I'm being a little bit overly sarcastic, but that's what we got to deal with. But like, say, if you're known in your area that you don't never even done shit like that, or any kind of, you're not don't even have any priors, and then you get, all it takes is somebody bitching somewhere, you got these informants that do they get rewards for every little person they catch. You hear about it like on the internet that China has that, and then totalitarian countries have that. Rewards for anybody to report. That even, and then they got, anyway. The reason why this shit happens is they have the means to properly surveil you without and know if you're into any crime or not. I mean, even those people are against surveillance in a lot of ways, since they have it, they can put anybody on surveillance and not even know it. They know fucking well who the criminals are and who are not. So that any kind of shit that happens, it's no accident, reeks of harassment. But anyway, if anybody does anything that's like, it's called swatting. It's against the law, and it is against the law. You know what I mean too. And then there's a case if you get these informants that are like saying shit and it's not even true. Oh, so-called informants are protected supposedly, so an actual criminal don't try to harm them or kill them or whatever. But if these people are breaking the law and attacking, using police, using any kind of things like informants, or they're just not informant, just a person calling the cops, and it gets determined that it's done deliberately to try to egg the cops, to get the cops, giving the cops a false fear that somebody might be armed and somebody gets beat up or shot or whatever. You should be able to find out. They should be ordered to trace the call and show who this person is, and you should be able to sue the living shit out of them, or at least prosecute them. You know what I mean? Get a personal injury lawyer, and not always necessarily go after the cop. Go after the person who told the lie. You know what I mean? Because you get a lot of people out there that, like, whether it's these people's case or your case watching, or that person them people over there in Phoenix. In my case, people don't like to see, that so-called person with a ponytail and long-haired hippie weirdo. Oh, I hate his ass. How dare him disprove us? We would like to beat him up. It's against the law. Maybe we could call the cops and get the cops to beat him up. Get the cops to lie to the cops and say to go have him beat up or whatever too. That's what. It's a form of indirect harassment and thuggery. You know what I mean? And it's just like completely wrong. You know what I mean?